back, listeners. You're with myself, Stephen,
and Thomas,
and we're going to talk to you about your grow room in winter, because
it's winter. So welcome to winter. That's today's podcast, and it's going to be a short podcast, just introducing you to our new winter environment.
What I think a lot of problems that some growers are going to have is we've had a really hot summer.
Yeah.
People are going to forget what it's like to be growing indoors in the winter.
Still a bit warm now for the winter.
Yeah.
Because
quite mild, isn't it? Apart from the little hurricane that we had a few days ago.
Yeah, Hurricane Gonzalo, but so long as everyone's roof is still intact, I don't think there'll be a problem there.
Can all crack on. So what we've got to do is we've got to pretend that we're sad because this really hot summer's over.
Yeah.
But actually, inside we're smiling a little bit.
Yeah, and prepare ourselves in our grow room for the winter, because yes, in fact, that stuff that goes on outside of the house does affect the grow room inside the house. So if it's gale force winds outside, and the temperature's really low, there's going to be hardly any humidity in your grow room, and it's going to be a lot colder in your grow room.
Another little interesting fact that we found out yesterday is also as the leaves drop off the trees through autumn, through winter, there's a lot less CO2 in the atmosphere. So actually we have to now supplement with extra CO2.
Can we mention where we got this additional information?
It was from the great Peter Clausen, who we had a lecture with.
So just to reiterate, we had a seminar yesterday. It was a lengthy seminar, 3
hours long.
3 hours long seminar, and the topics we covered was CO2,
and environment, and the 10 steering wheels that are crucial to controlling your environment.
So for you guys who didn't know we hold seminars or would have liked to come, keep an eye out on our webpage and forums and stuff, so you can get involved in some of these events that we do.
Definitely. What Peter was saying is that there's lots of people that think that they or actually do cultivate plants, but there's actually very few growers, because anybody can plant a seed, add some water, add a bit of feed, and hey presto, there's a plant. Very few people know actually how to grow a plant. So if your plant's stretching, knowing how to manipulate it to stop that stretching, or if it's too bushy, increase stretching, and these are all manipulated through steering wheels. But enough of that, because we discuss this next week when we talk to CANNA.
Yeah.
And Peter Clausen and Chris and Mark.
Yeah, so it's a really good podcast that also, so make sure you get involved and listen to that. There's also a very good competition on there. Talking about competitions, shall we just release the winner of the last
We shall. The last podcast, as you know, was with Eco Thrive and Charge, and the person that could correctly tell us what NPK stood for won a 10 litre bucket of charge, and that person was Chris. So well done, Chris. You correctly stated that NPK stands for nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Well done, buddy. Your 10 litre charge is waiting for you in the shop.
Congratulations, mate. So just come in and collect that whenever you're available.
Okay, so the winter is coming.
Yeah.
And it's here now.
Yeah.
What some first measures can our growers take to make their environment?
Well, firstly, I recommend that they pay attention to the grow room, because things are going to start changing. It's no longer just going to be the same as what it was. As the temperature outside decreases, the temperature in your grow room is going to decrease, and that means a lot of other elements and factors are going to start changing within the plant, because as we know, we prefer a room temperature of between 24 and 28 degrees, give or take a few. However, if that temperature starts going down because it's really cold or icy or stormy outside or whatever, and goes down to maybe 10 degrees, and our grow room's now dropping by a further 10 degrees, so basically 18 degrees or so, we're going to have issues. You're going to have the growth of your plants slowing down. You could have water staying in the base of the pot or in your tray for a longer period of time, which is going to become cold as well. May leave the plants to yellow and stuff like that. So these simple little factors of temperature are going to lead on if you don't pay attention.
So if you're not paying attention to your grow room, one small problem could end up leading to a lot of big problems.
Very easily.
So one of the first things that we ask you to do, and it's the cheap option, it's actually free, is just look at your plant, take care of it, because the plant will be the first person thing to tell you that there's problems.
Well, how's he going to do this? How's this plant going to tell you that there's a problem, Steve?
Well, there's going to be...
Is it going to stick its hand up and say, right, I've got a problem here?
Hey, bollocks.
Yeah.
You've left me in the cold overnight.
Well, the funny thing is, it is.
Yeah.
It's not going to stick its hand up and it's not going to shout at you, but it's not going to look happy.
No, you're going to have stunted growth.
Yeah.
You're gonna notice it if you're really into. You don't even have to be into your plants. Just look at the plant and notice that it's not healthy. Stunted growth. It's not drinking the water that you've been used to being given it over
So when
the
you're
summer.
lifting up the pot, it's continuously dripping water from the base of the pot. The water might be still cold. Feel the soil or cocoa. If that's cold, you know the temperatures aren't right. Check your thermostat. Yeah, that's that plastic thing in the room. If you haven't got one, they're £10 from the shop. They're essential. It's a white plastic piece of equipment and it has the temperature on there and it has the room humidity and you can check the maximum and minimum levels. So when you're not in your room for the evening or whatever and you come back in, you press maximum and it'll show you what the maximum temperature was. You press minimum, it shows you the minimum temperature. It also has for humidity the same, so you can put maximum humidity, it'll tell you what the maximum was at one point and it'll tell you the minimum. Then you reset it, and you should do this every day to monitor your humidity and temperature. If you're not doing that, you need shooting. I'm only joking, but you definitely need to get down to the store and buy a thermometer, hygrometer.
And to elaborate on that point, that very good point that you made, what a lot of growers will probably do is go, oh, it's winter, I can get away with an extra light.
Yeah.
So you'll, whatever you had, if you had 2, you might put 3 in there. If you had 6, you might put 7 in there. But the problem with that is you can have lovely daytime temperatures, 27, 28 degrees, but guess what? Your nighttime temperatures are going to plummet. So your daytime temperatures are 28 degrees, your nighttime temperatures could be dropping down to 17, 16 degrees. Is that a problem?
Yes.
Big problem.
If your plants drop more than 10 degrees from the daytime period to the nighttime period, you have a problem. So, yes, 10 degrees I've just said. So if your room is 28 degrees, minus 10 degrees, that's 18. So if your room starts going 18 degrees or lower, you have a problem. And what are we going to do to resolve this problem?
I would be getting one of these oil-filled heaters.
Yeah.
If you're just a hobbyist,
Yeah.
I'd probably invest in an oil-filled radiator. One, because they use a lot less electricity because they're oil-filled. They're quite cheap.
Yeah.
And they're easy to use. And the ones that you get from our shop have the added bonus of being waterproof and dimmable. So it doesn't have to be really hot.
Yeah.
You can dim it to the temperature that you require.
Also, people, they buy heaters and they put their own timer on it, and that's great. So you can have these heaters coming on when the lights go off. So whilst your plants are in the dark period, they're still nice and warm. They're still doing the normal day-to-day processes. They're producing energy and sugars and stuff, and they're transporting all this around the plant still. However, if it's too cold, the plant's going to stop doing all of this.
Exactly.
But one piece of equipment that we have a Davin timer.
Yeah.
And cool piece of equipment because it has all of the sockets down the side for the lights to switch the lights on and off, but it has another socket which is a different colour. And what you do with this socket is you plug your heater in, so automatically with this timer, when your lights go off, your heater comes on, and then just before your lights come back on again, your heater goes off. So it does everything for you.
It's a really great piece of kit. But it's not the only piece of kit. There's also, if you want even more control of your grow room, there's the new SMS Four-Way Hybrid.
Oh, that's a nice piece of kit. I don't think many people have even heard or seen that piece of equipment, because when that landed in the shop, I was like amazed by it.
Impressed.
Yeah.
Very impressed. And the price of the four-way is around $220.
Let's tell our listeners what it actually is.
So it's your standard four-way.
Yeah, so
I
it's
won't
a
say-
four-way contact the timer. Yeah.
I won't say standard actually, because it's a very good four-way. And it also has the heater switch, so when your lights go off, your heater comes on.
Okay.
But then you have your intake fan and your extraction fan plugged into this system.
Right.
And what you can do is you set the temperature that you want it to be most of the time.
Yeah.
If it goes, let's say, above 30,
Yeah.
then your fan will kick in 100%.
Yeah, exhaust's going to kick in.
But it's got another feature, and this is on the four-way. If your temperature temperature goes above critical, let's say 33 degrees, you would set it to your preference. If it goes above 33 degrees Celsius, then this SMS box will turn a light off until it drops the temperature.
It's actually an intelligent timing box now. So basically, you've got a few different components now. It's not just a simplified contactor timer box. So we've got a four-way light contactor timer, so it's going to switch your lights on and off. It's got a dual fan controller, so for your exhaust and your intake. It's got a heater socket, so it can switch on your heater for when your lights go off. And it's also got a bit of intelligence as well to know that, okay, we're controlling the fans and that's going in and out. However, if it's still getting too hot, say for instance we had one of those days that was going to surge too hot or something like that, it knows to switch off a light.
Which you may think, oh God, I like going off, that's terrible, but trust me, your temperature's going over 35 degrees, there's a lot more terrible for your overall result.
Yeah, so really good piece of equipment there.
And yeah, we said the 220, and it may seem like a lot, but it's not when you see the piece of kit, because a four-way Davin contactor is £70.
Yeah.
And the SMS twin speed controller
£95.
£95, £100, £95. So that's £170 straight away, and this is just an all-in-one box, so it keeps everything neat, minimal cables, and you know it's made by SMS, you know it's a great piece of kit, it's not going to fail you.
And plus it's also got them other two smart features in, which are really, really clever, and will just make your grow room in a perfect harmony.
And help you with those 10 steering wheels?
Yeah, the 10 steering wheels.
Okay, so for people, that's great for people that are in cocoa, but a lot of our listeners are probably in something like DWC or flood and drain.
Yeah.
Would they install a heater as well?
They could use a heater, or they could use a water heater. They could take the chill off the tank. Got to be careful with that one, as you know. If your water gets above 26 degrees, we know that there's no longer any oxygen in the water whatsoever. So the preferred temperature for your DWC system or flood and drain system, or basically if you've got a water butt in your room, I think was about 22 degrees.
Yeah, you can have it. You don't need to stress out. If it's between 18 to 22, then that's great. For really good oxygen, dissolved oxygen content, 18 degrees is really great. But up to 22, you're still getting a hell of a lot of dissolved oxygen, and the plant and the root temperature is also really great. So anything between 18 to 22 we would be happy to recommend to our growers. A quick point though, DWC growers, you should constantly have your roots submerged in water. You can get these submersible heaters that will keep your water temperature around 18 degrees. However, the flood and drain growers, your water butt is going to be, like we say, it's going to be flooding and draining. So some of these submersible water heaters could crack or explode. So what you need to bear in mind is you need to be getting a water heater that will not crack as it's exposed to air. You can get those in the shop.
Come in store and we'll fix it up with whatever you guys need.
But just bear that in mind if you're asking for what you need. A quick product, if people are looking for products, what sort of products could they use in the winter?
Well, we've got Evaponic, we've got Liquid Heat, a product that can be added to your water tank. Clever little product, plays a bit of trickery on the plant.
Extracted from cactus?
Yeah, cactus in the desert in extreme temperatures, minus 40 degrees. So we've done testing on this. We mentioned this before in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, where we use liquid ice in the summer.
Yeah, so just to let you know, if you've got a worry that your rooms might be going too cold, you may not be able to help it as much as you can, there is an additional product called Liquid Heat that you can put into your water butt, which will safeguard your plant from dying from extreme temperatures.
Yeah, a nice safety net.
Yeah.
So to sort of wrap it all up,
yeah,
the winter's coming, so we need to get back to what we know best. Forget the summer, get back to our winter growing. Watch your plant, make sure that your daytime temperatures and nighttime temperatures aren't going more than 10 degree swing. Ideally, a 5 to 6 degree drop is ideal. That's perfect. Make sure that there's no cold air hitting your plants during the night time, because this will cause stomata to close, and that will also cause stunted growth or completely stopped growth. and yeah, just be aware. Watch
Yeah,
your plants.
just pay attention because the climate is continuously changing out there. I know it's still a little bit warm at the moment, however, do not be duped by this. As Mother Nature, she will dump a load of snow on the floor probably tomorrow. So all we can say is, and can't stress enough, is welcome to winter, prepare for Christmas and have some plenty growing.
Oh,
good growing.
I think we need to be a bit more worldwide with these podcasts from future, because there's also some Australians listening, and for them, they're going, bloody hell, mate, it's bloody roasting down here.
Yeah, so if you're in Australia and it's not freezing, you can just laugh at this podcast and not worry about it, because you're sitting there in your Bermuda shorts thinking, what are these idiot English people talking about once again? However, in the UK or anywhere like Antarctica, if your grow room is really cold, listen to a few of our little top tips for today, and hopefully you will make it through the winter.
Yeah, come and see us in store if you get stuck, or ask us any questions on our Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
You know where to speak to us.
And if you are a million miles away on planet Zod, but you have an iPad or a computer, you can still get to us via www.mpktechnology.co.uk.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks very much.
At NPK Technology in Liverpool, we pride ourselves on providing you with the products you need at the right price. Once more, if the products you want aren't in stock, we'll order them in for you. And if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, we'll happily point you in the right direction. NPK Technology Liverpool, going out of our way to help you grow. Visit www.mpktechnology.co.uk.
Life is good.